Hopefully, George is looking down right now and saying, there's a great thing that's happening for our country. There's a great day for him. It's a great day for everybody. This is a great day for everybody. This is a great, great day in terms of equality.
That was President Donald Trump saying, what a great day it is, especially if you're George Floyd looking down on Donald Trump. Great, great day. What? All right. So look, we've got longer video and we're going to talk about the context and also add additional context to that, because this isn't a speech about not only Donald Trump's job numbers you saw in the Chiron, but also where he had just a really, really strange, nonsensical press conference where he was saying, oh my God, the police are doing such great work. Well, I showed you another video of, police officers in Buffalo literally pushing down a 75-year-old man, and he hit the ground so hard that he got a concussion from this and was bleeding. And so police, they're doing such a great job all over the country. And George Floyd would be what, happy about that? I mean, complete insanity. And so now look, as far as policing is gone in this country, there's been absolutely no change. So why would George Floyd be happy about this at all? I mean, yes, 4 officers that killed him, essentially, they've been charged. But until their convictions, I would hold off on the applause. But again, none of that has to have anything to do with Donald Trump. Has Donald Trump done anything about this? No, he's criticized the protests. He's called in the military, called them Antifa, right? Said we're going to dominate the streets, bring in the troops. He literally had people cleared off with rubber bullets and tear gas so he could do a stupid photo op. I mean, what are you doing? What are you doing? That's insanity. But no, George Floyd would be super happy about this. So now I promised you more context. So I'm going to give you more context into this video. And believe me, it doesn't make it that much better. Take a look.
Equal justice under the law must mean that every American receives equal treatment in every encounter with law enforcement, regardless of race, color, gender, or creed. They have to receive fair treatment from law enforcement. They have to receive it. We all saw what happened last week. We can't let that happen. Hopefully, George is looking down right now and saying, there's a great thing that's happening for our country. There's a great day for him. It's a great day for everybody. This is a great day for everybody. This is a great, great day in terms of equality. It's really what our Constitution requires, and it's what our country is all about.
Yeah, no, that was just about as nonsensical as it was clipped out. I mean, what does everybody have to be happy about? What does George Floyd have to be happy about? No, nothing. But you know who's having a great day? Donald Trump. You know why? Job numbers. Turns out the economy gained 2.5 million jobs. Wow. And they said that the unemployment rate is now officially at 13.3%. It's down from, 14.7% that it was before. But you guys know, of course, job numbers are essentially BS. They're not accurate, and it doesn't matter what president it is. I've been saying this under President Obama as well. The job numbers are just not accurate. For one, it doesn't count people who have stopped looking for work, people who, are unable to get unemployment. So we've got millions of people that are out of work right now that have been trying to file for unemployment, but because they have these systems, like, for example, in Florida, that were designed to fail and not work, well, yeah, you're not going to get an accurate count if you use those specific metrics. And so I'm sorry, but no, not accurate at all. And again, it doesn't matter what president it is. President Joe Biden, if he's going to talk about, if that happens, if he talks about, look at we got the unemployment rate down to 6%, it's still not going to be accurate unless they change the actual metrics. Nonetheless, Donald Trump, he doesn't know any of this. He's an idiot. He's a very simple man. And so he's like, job numbers, very, very good. They're very great. George Floyd is looking down at my job numbers, and they're fantastic because he's very happy because I'm happy. Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. But here's the thing, right? Let me give you an example of the inaccuracies going on here. The Labor Department noted that during the pandemic, millions of workers were misclassified as employed but not at work. So this shows, of course, that the job numbers were even worse than they were before. Those people who were classified as employed but not at work should have been counted as unemployed or on temporary layoff. If it were not for those misclassifications, the unemployment rate would have been around 19.2% in April and 16.1% in May, not including seasonal adjustments. So that would have been bad. That said, Trump celebrates because economists' estimate for the May job reports were off. Expectations of around 20% unemployment and about 8 million jobs. So that's what they were forecasting. And so they were forecasting this absolute disaster. It's not quite as disastrous as they said. And so we actually gained jobs. And so Trump's like, yay. Okay, well, here's the thing. I'm not surprised, and nobody should be surprised that we gain jobs back because this is not like any other recession, right? This was the government and state governments all over the country shutting off the economy because of COVID-19, because of the pandemic. So it's not quite the same as a normal recession. And so when you reopen the states, which you've had, and I've talked about this, you had states that very aggressively reopen, like Georgia, Florida, and South Carolina, among many others. Even California was reopening some parts of the state, as well as now Michigan is beginning to reopen. Well, when you do that, businesses will call people back to work. When you call people back to work, they don't really have a choice on whether or not they can stay on unemployment. No, if your work calls you back, you have to go back. Whether or not you're afraid of having COVID or not, doesn't matter. They give you the call, you'll lose your unemployment benefits regardless. So if you say, well, no, I'm not going to go back to work, I'm afraid of COVID. Well, too bad, so sad. You refused a job offer, lose unemployment. You're no longer counted as unemployed, right? Because you're not getting those benefits, even if you don't have an income or if you don't have a job. So that's how this works. So people going back to work, no longer unemployed, so it counts, of course, in the unemployment numbers. So the thing is, too, in a lot of these states, we have seen the increase of COVID-19. It's not over. We still have a pandemic going on, even with everything else. And I know the news, a lot of the news, even I've been talking about the protests and George Floyd, Black Lives Matter, a lot this last week. That doesn't mean COVID is gone. It doesn't mean that we don't have a pandemic and that people are not getting sick. In fact, I think yesterday there was 20,000 people, additional people that were diagnosed with COVID-19 or that tested positive. And so I don't know where the death numbers are at, too. I don't know if anybody's even tracking this stuff anymore, but they really should. And you had states, as I mentioned, the states that were aggressively reopening, they had fudged their numbers. I did the report on this one as well to make it look like infections were falling so that they could continue to reopen, to get people kicked off unemployment, and to, of course, ensure their reelection. But that's the point, right? They want that to happen. They want people back to work. They don't care about the risk because of those economic and political factors. They want the stock market to keep going up, which, by the way, even with everything that's going on, stock market's doing fine. Wall Street's doing fantastic. They're zooming along now after those initial losses. They're completely divorced from the rest of the economy, from the actual economy. It's amazing. It's amazing. And so that's what's going on here. So understand that this is good news because Donald Trump can spin this. And so that's why he's happy. That's why he's thrilled. He's running with this. His campaign's running with this. And He's going to use and it's sick that he uses the name of George Floyd, who was literally murdered by the police, to pat himself on the back for good job numbers. I wish I could say I'm surprised, but again, you've got classic Trump. I mean, a couple of people point out, Trump is proving yet again to be a shameless capitalist garbage demon. I like that. That's pretty good. Garbage demon. Didn't think about that. Another said, wow, Trump suggests George Floyd is marveling at today's job numbers from heaven. Yeah. Incomplete and utter insanity. And look, you know what? I wasn't going to add this in, but I think that I should. Because this is all at the same time where Donald Trump is literally building himself a wall around the White House. I think there's now, an additional 3 miles of wall around the White House now, where he's bunkering himself in. And yet he's like, what a great day. What a fantastic day. Now that I'm hiding in my bunker, I don't have to deal with the protesters. I don't have to deal with any of this stuff. My job numbers are starting to look better, even though that there's going to be a massive spike in coronavirus cases. I don't care, because that's going to help me with my reelection. It's going to help me keep myself in power. And I'm going to continue to, start to make money again because we forced all these people back to work. Great. Gross. Absolutely gross. One more point about Trump, too. And this has to do with, of course, policing. George Floyd's not looking down on heaven, from heaven and saying, oh, my God, Donald Trump, you're doing such a great job. Fantastic job, right? No, Trump is actually one of the reasons why policing has actually gotten worse. Now, it was bad before, and it's been bad for a long time, but now it's worse because, again, Donald Trump appointed Attorney General Jeff Sessions, who before leaving the Justice Department signed a memo in one of his last official acts ending department's oversight of police departments. So no more federal oversight for the cops. Now, if Jeff Sessions wasn't going to do that, William Barr probably would have, right? Because that's what the administration has been wanting to do. To say that, oh no, racism is over, police brutality against black people is over, so we're going to pull federal oversight of all of these police departments. Don't need it. Not necessary. Everything's fine in America. We're doing very great, as Trump would say. No, we're not. It's so incredibly gross to invoke the victim of police brutality when you did everything you could to help that along. Amazing. Just absolutely amazing. He is a shameless human being, 100% devoid of shame. But of course, ultimately, unfortunately, you're going to have his hardcore fans that are they're going to continue to cheer for him because no matter what he does, it's awesome to them and they love it. Well, that should tell you exactly who these type of people are. And hey, when somebody shows you who they are, maybe you should believe them. Hey guys, hopefully you enjoyed that free video. Now I'm going to have to ask you a favor. Between the demonetization and the YouTube algorithm messing around with view counts, etc., we're having a hard time adjusting to the new YouTube reality, which is where you guys come in. See, we have a patreon.com/TYTNation set up to help us rely on you guys, the viewers, instead of big corporate ads. Look, you know the show. You know I'm not in favor of big corporations anyway. So help us transition away from relying on the ad model to pay the bills and sign up to be a patron, patreon.com/TYTNation. That goes a long way to help us keep the lights on. And you guys will know that you're supporting independent progressive media.